Conservatory, that's the name of our homeschool. We are, or I am, preparing for grade 4, and this is going to be our nature course. Not our science course, but they are interrelated. So we have a year-long study. I have curated things. We're going to start here. These are both from Harbor and Sprout. They make unit studies. This is the patchwork study. I put my own cover on it. What I do when I download their files, the patchwork or the younger studies, I go through and just pull out the things that are appropriate to my child's age and ability. There are things in there for much younger children as well. The patchwork study is aimed at elementary school students. So there's a poetry, there's information, just myths, fables, history, language arts, a little bit of cursive practice. So that's the patchwork study. I also have the secondary study. I believe they make it for high schoolers. Most of it is appropriate for my up and rising 4th grader. That may not be the case for you. Just pick and choose what is going to work for you and your family. And again, since I bind it myself, since you're choosing what's right for your child, you can go through the files and only print what you need. I did print this whole thing, so the book will cover history, birds of prey, seabirds, avian, conservation, folklore with a spotlight on Edgar Allan Poe, bird songs with Ottorino Respighi, Janet Turner for printmaking, avian arithmetic and aerodynamics, and then the rest is the general stuff. So what happens is you go to your first module and you will read through it, and I do direct instruction, so we'll be reading through this together, probably out loud. She does have ADHD, so reading out loud helps, and we won't read it all in one day. We'll do sections. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be pressure. And then at the end of this, there are 5 notebooking prompts, so she can choose one because she is 9. So she can choose one notebooking prompt, and then there are 5 activity ideas. Again, she can choose one, and it will go through that for the rest of the modules. So that will be a lot of fun. And then, additionally, from Harbor and Sprout, I purchased this. They have wonderful, wonderful artists, and the person that owns it, I suppose, wonderful, wonderful watercolor artist. So she has all of these. We will pick and choose which ones. Obviously, we won't use them all, I don't think. And we'll put them up on the wall or on little stands around the living room or the kitchen, just because it's enjoyable and it's beautiful. And art and enjoyment, visual enjoyment, is a bigger deal to me than maybe other people. Then from Wild Earth Lab, she's on Etsy. I got these smaller labs, and these will be interspersed with the Harbor and Sprout secondary level, as appropriate where it belongs. So what's the age range on here? Mixed age, late elementary, middle school, other age groups too. In any case, again, beautiful, beautiful artist. She's an artist. Just goes through habitats, vocabulary, life cycles, really just enjoyable and artistic and hands-on portions, because my child is 2E, she has ADHD and she is gifted. It's kind of hard to place her in a certain grade particular set of things. So we have shorebirds, we have waterfowl and water birds, same thing, different kinds of beaks, beak, anatomy, and birds of prey, same thing, background information, and all the different pieces and parts of the birds of prey. I don't think she'll do this. I don't know why I really put that in there. I think I might have just printed it off. Maybe she'll like it. She really likes to wear costumes, but realistic costumes. And we will use maybe some watercolor pencils because we don't use them too often, and give watercolor pencils a try. She's never used them, so that'll be new for her. Along with that, I put them away. Each one includes the Montessori type cards with the control card. Obviously these three don't go together, but you just put these out and the children match them up, and then they visually remember what the names of them are. And then for older children, you can begin matching this up with the information card as well, or just the control card and the information card if you like. So has all of that here. Put this to the side. And I have cards for all three of these. And then also we have just this is a Waldorf thing. I'm actually going to go through here with stickers and put the Latin names because we do Latin. So although it has the Spanish names, we're going to go through and put the Latin names. Ooh, and there's a little story because Waldorf is very, very story based, and a poem, different types of owls, owl folklore. Again, they have the things to make the cards with, and I can tear this out and make the cards if I want to, but I would put a sticker over these and write the Latin words on there. It does have a schedule and a list of books that they recommend, and we will be doing the Burgess Bird Book for Children. I'll show you that one next. So this is the Burgess Bird Book for Children, and this particular one includes the occasional illustrations, and it has quizzes in the back. So every time you read a certain amount of chapters, you can go back and have them do the quiz. I use LibriVox, or you can find it on YouTube. It's already read aloud. I have a copy. This is her copy. And this is a living book, and if you've never read a Burgess book, they're fantastic. Peter Rabbit, Jenny Wren. They're very old books, the early 1900s, but it is it's just written in this very friendly narrative, a living narrative, and so it's a story, but it takes you through the science. So Jenny Wren and Peter Rabbit go to see Mother Nature out in the forest, and she tells them the information. It's really lovely, and it's a great place for my child because she is a child. She is 9. Her brain is a little too fast. It's not too fast. Her brain is a Maserati, so that's what we're doing with that. And to go along with that, from Simple Studies, very Charlotte Mason, the Burgess Bird Book. It has a lesson study guide. This is really for me, what would be needed and what to do with each of the lessons in the Burgess Bird Book. So this will take me through when I am doing my planning. It has review questions, which I'm not sure I'll have to do because it already has the quizzes. So there's 45 of them. Final activity, how many birds can students identify in this video? So, final review, optional, page 66, final review. These are oral questions. I'm not trying to make her write very much in this particular course because she has a lot of writing in her other courses. So, and then there's some beautiful poems and Aesop's fables that reference birds, and if you go online you can just click on them and pull them up, but I like to have a physical book. And then there are expansion ideas, which, well, obviously you're going to see I don't need by the end of this. Bird printables and unit studies. Again, I already have that taken care of. Websites to explore, and there's an easy bird beak craft, which this child loves to make things out of cardboard. It drives me insane. Then I'm just going to cover her name here, but there's one for each of us, one for her, one for myself, and these are just the coloring books that go with that. And so as we are listening or reading, if she's fidgety, we have these nice, and we'll do this with colored pencil, I believe, these nice coloring pictures, and you have to listen to the story to find out what color everything should be. So I have that there. Put her name up. There we go. And from a Substack writer called Girl Scientist, this was my most recent and hopefully last purchase for this, as the Birding Dictionary. She has a topic called Words About Birds. When I thought of naming the course Words About Birds, I typed it in and I came to her Substack, so that was interesting. The Birding Dictionary is very cute. It just describes the vocabulary words that you would hear in an an ornithographical dimension. So kleptoparasitism, I can say that. Behavior in which a bird steals food that another animal has gathered, and it tells you some of the birds that do it. It's from the Greek klepto, meaning steal, and parasitos, meaning someone who eats at another's table. And then there's just a little, it's very child friendly, and it's a little bit fun. It's an attractive, interesting, and useful little dictionary. We also have, everybody goes for Peterson. I looked through them and I prefer the Sibley's. The Sibley Guide to Bird Life and Behavior. So this is going to be a reference book. She's not going to read the whole thing, I hope. She has other things she needs to read. So she can look up what bird she needs and all of the scientific information regarding them, where they are, how they eat, genus, species, all of that. And then we have, since we live in on the East Coast area, we have the Sibley Birds East, so that when we do go out, she can try and look up what she thinks things might be. I looked through all the different reference guides, and I prefer this one the most. I think the other popular one is Peterson, but okay, so we have Sibley's. Reference guides we also have. Again, we're trying to have solid information, but also appeal to the younger child's love of beautiful things. Everybody loves beautiful things, but I think it's important that the beautiful things are big and bold for younger children. So, love this book. Absolutely gorgeous. Great paper. We just may browse through this sometimes for interesting things. I may tell her, if we're done with whatever we're looking at, can you find another bird that looks interesting in here? This is also great for reference if she wants to draw. She loves to draw. So speaking of drawing, I'm going to have to start moving these over here. Speaking of drawing and art, we also have, this is from the UK, I got them on Etsy, How to Draw Birds of Prey. Oh, a big bookmarker. So where'd this come from? Instagram, Crow Artist. Facebook, Crow Illustration. Crowartist.co.uk. I should laminate this. This is a great, huge bookmark. It's by Christy Crow Artist Yeomans. So again, my child really likes to draw. So it goes through the different birds in here, the different ways you would draw their skull, their actual skulls, and it begins sketching it out. Same thing with the feet. Oh, she'll like that, the open beak. The feathers, the wings as they're spanned open. So, yeah, that's great. I also got this one from the same person, how to draw birds of the passerine order. So, same thing, their heads and beaks, their feet, knees, ankles, feather anatomy, tail feathers, wing anatomy, open wing, closed wing, flightless. So, yeah, she's really, really going to love those. These are, so I like to do Waldorf type things with some of my other subjects, and so we got these small bird journals. So if she is going to draw a bird, she would practice it first, and when she feels confident in drawing that, she would put that on here, maybe on the top half, and on the bottom half she would write the name of the bird and something about it. So, and I got 2 of them, one for her, one for myself, because again, direct destruction. Oh yes, that is my house. Direct instruction is the way that I want to do it for her. Other homeschoolers, you know, hey, here's the information, and their child will do it, and that's fine with them. Because we have a 2E thing going on, direct instruction is the way to go for us. Also got one of these for each of us, the birds, the watercolor art pad, 15 avian artworks for you to paint. So it has various, I'm sure there's on the back cover too, the various birds that are in here. How to use this book, watercolor terms and techniques. And we are doing watercolor with Waldorf fish as well. So she has a base of all this watercoloring. So we're just starting to do some more fine things, and she's a little bit further along in the artistic realm than the Waldorf grades, but I still have her do it by grade level with Waldorf fish because I don't want her to miss anything. Gifted children often have gaps, and then they have to go back and learn, you know, at the end, they're like, oh, I didn't know that, and they have to go back 2 or 3 grades and, oh, okay, I gotta do this. So some things, I just have her go through everything, even though she is well beyond it, but she's going to enjoy this. This is the complete palette of colors. And then it tells you for each one how to paint your iridescent birds, the palette colors that you're going to need, and they're numbered so you can find them, how to compose the picture, and then at the back of the book are all the already sketched out pictures, so all you're really doing is the painting. That'll be lovely, and yes, there are the rest of them in the back of the book. So this is lovely, and we'll both do that. And then and I have these watercolors from Arteza. I also have all the watercolors from Stockmar. So we'll see what we're going to use, but there are more varieties that don't need to be mixed in here, and I appreciate it because they come in little tubes that just last forever and ever and ever. So I also have the gouache and a pan of iridescence. So my daughter added this to the pile. It's actually been on our bookshelf for a long time, and she just never did anything beyond this, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So it's a little quotes. Oh no, she did some. She started painting some, but it's, you see, 2 or 3 years ago, you know, she's 6 or 7, she was already painting fine detail and enjoying that. So so yeah, she can enjoy this. We will add this in. He who can properly summarize many ideas in a brief statement is a wise man. Well, I am not wise because I have too many brief. Maybe I have a lot of brief statements. Euripides. We have a game that is more, not a game, but it is a game. A reversible owl floor puzzle. So it's 3 feet wide. Something that's tactile and fun to do one day. So one day she can do it on this side, and another day she can go ahead and put together the internal organs and everything of the owl, so she'll enjoy that. We have this game called What the Flock. Again, she's like, oh mom, that almost said the F word. Hilarious game of words and birds. So I really have to look how to play it. It's a die, a word card. No, that's a flock card, word card. I guess you have to build a bird by guessing the word. And reference cards. Oh, this has been... So, reference card, whatever you roll, you have to choose. I will have to read the directions for this, but hopefully 2 people can do this. No, you need 3 or more players, so we'll have to do this with Dad. Okay, that's fine. Another reference book, illustrated ornithography for bird lore and symbolism. So what different birds mean. The lapwing, the vanillini. The meaning of the bird is deceit. The lore is lapwings mistaken for plovers. Swedish legend tells of a servant to the Virgin Mary who fled after stealing a pair of scissors. When caught, the servant was turned into a lapwing, the bird whose tail feathers appeared to be severed. What's more, the call of the lapwing sounds like, I'm not going to say that, which translates from Swedish as I stole, and it does. I speak a fair amount of Swedish. Oh, that's funny. Levity, the lark, the parrot means bravery. So again, beautiful artwork if she wants something to have an example of, if she wants to draw. Excellent in here. Love this book. Okay, now we're going to get to the printables. So for the love of homeschool, there's a art tutorial bird's nest, and if you pull this up on the computer, you click on this image and then it opens up and it has 3 videos that show you how to draw this and then paint it. So Bonnie Hunt, lead watercolor artist for the love of homeschooling. I haven't tried it yet, so we'll see how that goes. I should put that with the art stuff. Also got bird bones from them. It's a little $2 thing that's just going to go through the skeleton. And in our human and animal class, we're going to be relating how animals are the same and different. So it has the skeleton, and we will go through the human skeleton and see what matches and how it changed. And I'm sure my child will be trying to walk like a bird around the house, but that's a nice little unit there. I also got from them Weave a Bird's Nest. So different types of nests. You'll design your nest, then you'll get some cardboard, of course, and some felt, glue, and yeah, you'll make a bird's nest. That'll be a fun little activity. And then in here we have from Stephanie Hathaway Designs. She's also a great artist. I'm really into the whole artist thing. So I didn't bind these because I might bind all of her finished work as a book to keep for 4th grade, but it has a reading list. Again, reading lists are not mandatory. You can do decorate eggs, egg development, flip book, other animals that lay eggs. So it will just go through what's inside an egg, anatomy, all the different, so different life cycles, bird's nest, blank eggs, Sanki's in here. How do you like your eggs for breakfast? And of course, we'll be eating eggs that week. Yes, we will. And to go with that, I have from Mira's Toys. I've had this for a while from our homesteading units. The different manipulatives for the egg development, and it goes by days and hours in each one, and you give your child the puzzle and mix up the pieces, and they have to figure out where everything goes and what it should look like. So I mean, it's pretty simple, but it's so good for children to have these hands-on activities. A little bit more with the bird's nest, again from Stephanie Hathaway. Same thing. I like that we have practice with our cursive, because handing my child a cursive book is just not a thing. So, and the American Robin, excellent, same deal. Eagle, same deal. And all these loose papers at the end of the year I will bind together, and she will have a type of main lesson book. Here's a nice vulture one. My daughter's going to be goth someday. I know this already. I'm a little nervous, but she'll definitely read the vulture lore and be like, oh yeah, primary consumers, carrion, all the things. So there's science and literature in these, and the owl one too. So it has the cards in here. I don't know if we're going to pull out the cards or not. And yeah, we might cut them up and pull out the cards, the Montessori cards. But all right, that's everything from Miss Stephanie. And of course, to do the rest of the art, we have the nice Lyra charcoal set. So she has not worked with charcoal yet. We'll see how that goes, because her nature study is part of her art and her science is part of her art. She got the big tray of the Stockmar. These are the nicest colored pencils I have ever had for children. We did have the 12. This year she's going to use the 18, because we have geometry, 5th grade geometry with Waldorf fish, and it recommended all colors because it's freehand geometry, and that's great. But that'll be fine. I have a set of 150 or 170, I don't know, of Prismacolor. Those are the ones that I will be using, and she can share with those if she's doing some art too. Along with the Charlotte Mason business. I wish I had this in an old hardcover fabric bound book, but I don't. But it's Eyes and No Eyes, Volume 1 from Arabella Buckley. Again, it's quite old, but each of the lessons is written in that same manner as the Burgess books, with that really story-driven narrative, very enticing to children. So we won't be doing this whole book, at least not with birds. The rest of this is whatever is for plants is for next year, and whatever is for animals is for her human and animal. But this is lesson 1, Birds of the Air, and it will. So this is the section in here. I will put markers in it. Not too long. Arabella Buckley. Great. We're almost getting to the best part, the grown-up part. But first we have some chapter books. Unusual Chickens for the Exceptional Poultry Farmer. So this is just enjoyment reading. Really determined to find a way to get her off of media and into books when her mind starts to wander, because right now she's at that dangerous tipping point where she wants to know about everything, so she will look up everything because YouTube does have everything. But I would prefer her to read it instead of watch it. So we're going to really make a push for interesting books. We also have The House with Chicken Legs. This is more emotional, and it's about friendship. I considered putting this with our character unit, but I'm going to go ahead and stick it in here. It's part of both. So, and then this is a funny book, and it's quite short. Borden's father is out of a job, and it's all the spotted owl's fault. The birds are endangered, which means loggers like Mr. Watson are no longer allowed to cut down trees. It doesn't make sense to Borden. Why are the animals being put first over the citizens? And that's when Borden finds an owlet. So there's also this one, who really killed some robin. I need better glasses. I think I need to get that too, actually. So I have Tarantula in my purse. That is with her human and animal studies, but we'll go get the robin one and add that to here. So one more book. Oh dear. We also have several pairs, but I'm going to put this out with her bird unit. Oh, we lost the other cover. So a nice pair of binoculars. Nothing too serious there. And almost to the grown-up part. And then short books that we can read at the beginning of each lesson until we don't have any more. And these won't be everyday lessons. So we have Interrupting Chicken, Wordy Birdie meets Mr. Cougar. This one is kind of iffy again. My daughter loves The Far Side, and what's the one with the tiger and the little boy? I can't think of it right now. I don't know why. Loves them. So she is all into irony and sarcasm, and she just loves those things right now. So this is kind of a little baby book, but it's still, again, I don't want her to miss out on the quick story with the wonderful illustration, because she is an artist at heart, and so the illustrations really get her. The Eagle's Gift. So this could go with a Native American, indigenous American thing, or it can go with words about birds. The Plot Chickens. So it's a quick little story about it's really quite a funny little book. Chickenology is this a reference book? Yes, this is a reference book. So that's a younger child's reference book, I think, if you just wanted to find a couple small things, but it's interesting. And because I know my girl is a textbook girl over a literature girl, she's like her mama, I think. I don't know. I prefer to read textbooks as literature. It's terrible. She'll probably just read this because, I don't know. Again, another Indigenous American story. Brother Eagle, Sister Sky. The story is not long, but it is about Chief Seattle, and she was born in Seattle, so that will be a nice connection for her. Migration, The Incredible Animal Journey. We will be watching the movie Migration too. We've already seen it, but that will be part of this curriculum. So this is something maybe we'll just read the passage and draw a picture about it. Flight of the Dragons is going to be dragonflies. That is grade 5. That's for next year. We'll be doing insects. But there are ones that have birds. So we won't be doing all of the pages in here, just the bird pages. And lastly, our most juvenile, what is this called? Our most juvenile reference book, but still beautifully done. And we have the sticker book to go with this, which is a hands-on kind of thing, and she has to read the information in order to do the sticker activities. So, love these books. Okay, so those are all of those. Now we have gotten to the best part. This is what is attracting my child to this the most. Not everybody will agree with this. That's why I have left it until the end. So, I got these books for myself because I do these lessons alongside of her, and I can read quite quickly, much more quickly than her, and I think it scares my husband a little. So the Field Guide to Dumb Birds of North America by Matthew Cracked. You can already see on the cover, this is a white-breasted butt nugget. Some of these are extremely the American red fart. Some of these are extremely not child appropriate. My child is allowed to say these words at home as long as only her mother or father can hear. If there's anybody else in the house, she cannot. I don't have a problem with her using such language in private. But we do live in the Deep South currently, and so it's not a thing, and she's not of an age where she would check her language in any other separated capacity than she can only say them at home, only if it's just mommy and daddy. So we have the Field Guide to Dumb Birds of North America. We have the Dumb Birds Field Guide to the Worst Birds Ever. And it does have the actual name and the regular name. So it's quite funny. The illustrations are great. I will enjoy copying these illustrations, perhaps on my chalkboards. I have some chalkboards, and I like Waldorf style, big, colorful chalkboards. So inappropriate and hilarious. And the Field Guide to the Dumb Birds of the Whole Stupid World. So I'm really just going to thoroughly enjoy that. I also got the Big Dumb Bird Journal. So this is my bird journal, and any birds that I see, I can look up and put that in here, and any notes that I may have about it. So I'm going to enjoy that. And last part of the series, I did get the sticker book, and of course I would not let her have that sticker, but the Caspian turd, yeah, I might let her have the cactus wretch or the red-bellied woodcracker. I might, because she just really loves that stuff. And I think that language is language, and it should be used. If you were to go to a third grade classroom in Sweden and just listen to the children talking on the side, you would hear every word there is in English, oddly enough, and you wouldn't blink, because that's normal for all of them, and it's very different here in the United States. So I also have Amy Tan. I love Amy Tan. She writes so well, with a foreword by David Allen Sibley, which is where I got the Sibley guides, and I just noticed that now. So it is not only a written story, but it is also illustrated. So that's really, I'm looking forward to reading this book. She's such a good writer, and I believe she might have more bird books, maybe not. All right, that is everything. So I hope you enjoyed my flip through, and that's it.